hello, namaste, kem cho? My social media, where all of you are hyperactive, I know, reads me as RJ Megha. And I am back again with a fresh new story to tell you guys. For those who are new to this video series, please watch the last episode where I promised that I shall tell you one new story every time I see you on this platform. Because I definitely believe that when you tell a story, you spark a connection, That is how humans have communicated since the beginning of time, by telling stories. Stories have been told since even before the humans learned to read and write. Around the fire that primitive humans used to ignite and share their stories with each other around food, animals, attack, fire, fear, and survival. These stories have passed on through generations. The story for the day is about an old man who lived in a village. He was one of the most unfortunate people in the whole wide world. The whole village was tired of him. He was always sad, very gloomy. He consistently complained and was always in a bad, horrible mood. The longer he lived, the more vile and bitter and irritating he became. His words became more poisonous with time. People avoided him because his misfortune became contagious. It was even unnatural and insulting to be happy next to him. He created a feeling of unhappiness in everybody around. But one day, when he turned 80 years old, an incredible thing happened. Instantly, everyone started hearing the rumor that the old man is happy today. He doesn't complain about anything. He smiles and even his face is freshened up. The whole village gathered together. The old man was asked by the villagers, "What happened to you?" "Nothing special really. For the last 80 years, I have been chasing happiness and it was useless. And then I decided to live without happiness and just enjoy my life. And that is why I am happy now." So the moral of the story, my dear friends, is that don't chase happiness. Enjoy your life and every moment of it with positive, likable attitude. The reason for choosing stress as a matter of subject today is that you youngsters are going to relate with the content that I'm going to present today. So listen carefully and keep sharing your opinions on whatever I share. Maybe could be with your classmates, your friends, or with your own self. Or you can write in your personal diary. But do share your opinion on everything that we discussed today, because your opinion matters the most. As we all know, the college years have been often called the greatest years of our lives, the golden era. And in this episode, I'm going to cover the biggest pinpoints of college life. In my experience, there is rarely a time when people learn so much, meet so many people and experience so many new things at one time. With so many positive stories around, it can be easy to overlook the fact that there are also a large number of challenges present in any university, be it India or abroad. Challenges are omnipresent. In fact, when you go outside of your comfort zone and study in some other country, the problems also multiply. And today, we will try finding solutions to the challenges that most of the youngsters face during the college life. For many young students, college should end up being the most stressful years of their lives. And for some, it remains to be the golden era of a lifetime. Which category do you fall in? Write down in your diary that we just discussed, or you could DM me on Instagram, or maybe discuss that with your friends and teachers and family. There are many reasons that create stress in students' life. Let's have an open discussion today on the subject which affects all of us in some or the other way. And also, let us ensure that we stand by each other in the stressful times and help each other come out of it successfully. Because it's a matter of give and take. Finding your independence is one of the advantages of university life, but it can come with its share of stress. The study goals, money trouble. Some of you might be living away from the home, and the impact of COVID-19 can all play on your mind. Here is how to keep the worry at bay. Student stress can be caused by number of factors, right? Now, who knows that better than me? I think it's you guys who know it better. Trust me, you are not the only one. Stress is normal, and in some cases, it is helpful part of everyday life. The adrenaline that comes as a part of our stress response can be motivating and actually help us perform better. The difficulty comes when stress tips over to distress. Everybody reacts to stress differently. Number one, behavioral. These could involve avoiding or escaping from the situation. Number two, physical. You may experience an increased heart rate, or sweating, or shaking, or headaches, or butterfly in the stomach when you are under stress. Number three, psychological. Stress can lead to fear, panic, and the feeling that something bad is going to happen. Now, when I say that coming out of the stressful situation successfully, there are coping mechanisms which can differ from person to person. We shall discuss the solutions here today. So don't miss the entire episode and watch till the end. Let's see which one do you like the most. When stress is having a negative impact on day-to-day life, when it stops you from achieving, relaxing, or say communicating, that is when you need support. You need some help. Some of you might have some questions running in your subconscious mind all the time. Correct me if I'm wrong. Most of the students stress about the following. 1. Struggling with your mental health. Next, feeling unsure about what to do after graduation. What will be my career like? Some might fall for bad habits, bad company. Some worry about revising for exams. Struggling with writing dissertations and projects and presentation could be one of the stress reasons. Loneliness, homesickness, or relationship difficulties, the breakups and patch-ups could also create stress. Finding it hard to save money or deal with debts. I hope તમે કોઈ જોડેથી પૈસા ઉધાર ના લીધા હોય અને લીધા હોય તો જલ્દી જલ્દી ચૂકવી કાઢો તેવી શુભેચ્છાઓ. Some of you might also be working and it becomes difficult to balance work and study both together. Some have wrong expectations from the university, and of course, the midway they realize that, hey, this course isn't meant for me. Some have negative relationship with the teachers and the staff. Many have the issue of studying in a non-native language. Schooling ગુજરાતીમાં કર્યું હોય અને પછી જ્યારે medium change થાય, language English થાય, ત્યારે તકલીફ પડે. Lack of adequate financial support due to low family income. That also could be a reason of stress. Another reason for stress could be, where do I go on campus to meet new people who can make my life the best? Who are those people? Should I just hang out with people from my classroom or also meet the seniors? Am I isolating myself too much? What if I'm not good at starting conversations? These are all the problems, right? Worry not. Social anxiety is quite common. All of us have faced this at some or the other point in life. College life can be intimidating and anxiety-provoking at times, especially during the first year of your college. Although some are naturally outgoing, most have to work harder to make connections. You will see students who tend to isolate themselves for the fear of being rejected. Building new, more and long-lasting friendship is quite a task for most of the youngsters studying in the college. Because the friendships made in college are often ones that people carry with them throughout their life. However, learning how to make new friends can be difficult, uncomfortable process for new students. Actually, most of us are coming from high school where, we have been surrounded by the same social group and have not have to make new friends in a number of years. Although most universities recognize this problem and they set up a number of ice-breaking sessions in first few weeks of the college. It can still be hard for undergrads to figure out the right way. Depending on how comfortable a person is with approaching new people, the situation can be a little stressful in some cases. But eventually, most students find their way of surviving their college life and in a nice, memorable way. Unhealthy competitions is another important topic we must discuss here. Healthy competition is amazing, but what happens when you cross the line to unhealthy? When we obsess on getting ahead of everybody around us by hook or by crook, you must stop. It definitely doesn't help, it doesn't hold a good future if you think that shortcut is a quick way to get recognized and successful. Another aspect other than unhealthy competition, which even you might notice that, varies a lot from student to student, is parental expectations and the style of parenting. Sometimes living up to parental expectations may be more difficult than the classwork. Yes or no? Gradually, the mental stress of trying to live up to the unrealistic expectations becomes a mental stress and leads to anxiety and even depression in some extreme cases. One of the most common reasons for a little stress for students who go away from their parents to study is homesickness. It's more common than you think. Even the hardened students feel some form of sadness as they separate from their old lives. With college life, it's a new phase, everything changes. And fortunately, they can seek help from family, friends, and mental health counselors or from the professors of their choice. But I'm sure you all will find out ways to clear the stress-inducing hurdles. And why fret? As there are solutions to every hurdle in life. So never ever get depressed. Be easy on yourself, with the right frame of mind and positive outlook, which are very important things in surviving the college life. You will find that any of these stressors mentioned above can be managed. Do not take things all alone. Consult your support who are trustworthy and they will wish good for you. ऐसे लोगों से संपर्क करें, बात करें, and I bet you will find a way out. Important point being that the stress factors we just mentioned above are very common and happens to all in a small or a big way. So relax. No one else knows what you are doing either. These mountains that you are carrying, you were only supposed to climb. As discussed earlier in the beginning of this discussion, stress should be a powerful driving force and not an obstacle. I think if you understand this point, say yes that I agree. DM me. Great philosophers always emphasize on the fact that calmness is the cradle of power. And stress has two sides to it. Sometimes it acts as an accelerator. It will push you forward and it could also push you backward. Whether forward or backward, you have to choose the direction, dear friend. Although this generation is not much into reading, but I have never known any distress that a 1 hour of reading did not relieve. Try investing in a book about positivity and progress. I promise, I bet it will help you calm down and find answers to all your questions and worries. The truth is that stress doesn't come from your teacher or your boss or your kids or your girlfriend or your boyfriend or your spouse or the traffic jams or health challenges or any other circumstances. It comes from your thoughts about your circumstances. The greatest weapon against stress is our ability to choose one thought over another. It's not stress that kills us. It is our reaction to stress. Much of the stress that people feel doesn't come from having too much to do. It comes from not finishing what they have started. And that's common. Even I face the same issue. When we want to do so much in life, but we sometimes as humans fail at managing our time. And thereby, we don't finish our goals. And where we aren't able to tick mark on the to-do list on time, and also the to-do list of all of us are so long and so never-ending. Oh, in my case personally, I feel the screen time, the social media addiction wastes a lot of our precious time and productivity. Trust me. Once we are in control of our habits, we will automatically be in much better shape, both mentally and physically. My key to dealing with stress is very simple. Just stay cool and stay focused. Try once, you'll get the results. I'm not saying social media is bad, by the way. If it was, we haven't have had connected today. The overusage is bad, is what I'm trying to say. Similarly, it is important to rest and take breaks. Rest is not idleness. And, to lie sometimes on the grass under the trees and listening to the murmur of water or the birds or watching the clouds across the sky is by any means not a waste of time. So go to parks and beaches and around your place and take some time out with nature. It's a must, I tell you. It's the biggest stress buster. So nature is equal to stress buster. Take breaks. Because these days we live in the world where busy chasing dreams is the status of everybody. When you find yourself stressed, ask yourself one question. Will this matter in 5 years from now? If yes, then do something about the situation. But if no, let it go. Times of stress are also the times that are signals for growth. And if we use adversity properly, we can grow through adversity. Stress is like a spice. In the right proportion, it enhances the flavor of a dish. Too little produces a dull, bland taste in the meal. And too much will choke you, isn't it? Sir Albert Einstein once said, in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. Also, another aspect here which we must cover is that the stress, anxiety and depression which we are discussing since very long in this episode, they are caused when we are living to please others, as per popular author Paulo Coelho. So now you would ask me that, agree Megha, I sometimes unnecessarily take stress. But what is the solution? All right. Maybe in the times of life crisis, the first thing you could do to go back to basics. Am I eating right? Another question. Am I getting enough sleep? Am I getting physical and mental exercise every day? As discussed earlier, there could be multiple or a single reason for stress. And if you really want to escape the things that harass you, what you are needing is not to be in a different place, but to be a different person altogether. Stress is largely self-inflicted. So the ability to manage stress more effectively comes from managing oneself. Let me repeat again. Stress can result in anxiety if handled poorly or achievement if handled well. Instead of thinking about your worries and problems, think of them as challenges and if possible as opportunities. And my dear, relax. Your calm mind is the ultimate weapon against all your challenges. Trust me. I'm not saying that you will immediately get the results and you will jump out of the stressful situations on the spot. But I'm definite about the fact that with a calmer mind, you will suffer the least. And suffering becomes beautiful when everyone bears great calamities with cheerfulness. Not through insensitivity, but through greatness of mind, said Aristotle. So, books, vacation, counseling, friends, family, meditation, sab kuch chodo. There is no trouble so great that cannot be diminished by a nice cup of tea or coffee. What say? So tell me, what is bothering you or what is harassing you? Think about it with calm. अपनी वो पर्सनल डायरी में लिखो. Introspect. Think about it. Where are you going wrong? What could be the ideal solution to it? The one that will not harm you mentally and physically and will prove to be a wiser long-term solution to that problem. Like how Martin Luther King said, you don't have to see the whole staircase, just take the first step. Not surprisingly, all these common teenage problems are connected with one another in some way. Following some of the important steps which will definitely prove to be effective are early identification. It is one of the reasons that can help you with a solution. Changes in sleep patterns, eating habits, decline interest in normal and healthy activities, dropping the grades in school and college, preferred isolation are all the early signs of stress as discussed earlier. Increased demand to perform, competing with friends, etc. may also lead to unwanted stress. Being vigilant towards these signs at an early stage may help you to block or stop the further damage and guide them towards healthy ways of dealing with these concerns. The next important aspect as a solution is understanding the transition. Now, this one is very important for parents to understand especially. It is crucial that teenagers feel validated in their feelings and thoughts, because what they are going through is a real part of their lives, there are physiological and biological age-related stress hormones playing their part. The parents and the guardian should not judge or criticize their feelings or thoughts. Being sensitive towards the teens and the fact that they are exposed to a range of emotions, puberty being one of the most important experiences, is an important step in understanding their transition. Anger, confusion, jealousy, non-compliant attitudes, dislike towards their parents, elders, secrecy, high need for privacy, etc. are few examples of emotions or feelings they have. Parents, you need to be supportive. Your unsupportive behavior may aggravate these common teenage problems. I'm sure you will take care of it in the best possible way. Another important point is transferring knowledge. One of the concerns that stems from curiosity and the need for independence or a sense of control can be experimenting not so ideal practices that will harm them physically and mentally. Talking to the students will enable them to be informed and will remove the taboo from the topic. It is a no secret that level of exposure the teens have today as a result of internet is unmatched. Cyber addiction is the fastest growing problem amongst other concerns and the common problems that the teenagers face. Educators and parents should talk to the teens and make them conscious of cyber safety and how to protect themselves from internet adversity. Another important point being respect at home and at college is a must. The student's opinion or decisions will enhance their self-confidence and self-esteem. Most youth's ability to develop positive self-esteem is affected by the family life, parental criticism, and the college environment. Make it positive for each other, yaar. Making respect a mutual virtue will help in developing a stronger bond between the teenagers, parents, and the fellow students. I agree, every parent has a different outlook towards parenting and every teacher has a different way of bonding with their students. But a healthy relationship between the student and parents or teacher is the most essential during the teenage years, right? Communication is the key to developing a rapport, which results in the teenager feeling comfortable in talking about the problems that is stressing them. Finding the correct balance between being a friend and a parent or a teacher is important. And I think this will help develop a required rapport. For example, teens facing body image concerns like being too fat or too skinny or too tall or too short will benefit from a balanced approach which may only stem with a good rapport. While we just discussed good rapport, equally important is trust and acceptance. Trust is the foundation of any relationship. Don't we know that? Spying or cross-questioning or checking with their friends or doubting will hamper the bond, leading to a defiant behavior such as lying, stealing, hiding, and being disrespectful. It is important to accept the teens as they are to build the trust in them. This will help them trust and accept themselves as well as those in their immediate environment. And that will lead to ideal communication and safe space. A clear communication channel opens up many possibilities. This not only enhances the relationship but also helps the student discuss sensitive topics like bullying, peer pressure, and abuse. Parents and teachers need to feel free to talk to their teens about certain common teenage problems like dating, drugs, alcohol, any of the bad habits. It is this inability to discuss the good and bad points that drives them to take wrong steps out of curiosity. Effective use of communication will foster building a trust, respect, acceptance between both the parties, and that will eventually help fighting and keeping the stress away. I agree, because of the advances in technology, today's teens are facing issues that no previous generation has ever seen. While some issues are not exactly new, but electronic media has changed or amplified some of the struggles young people face. The prevalence of digital communication has changed the way the teens interact with their peers and the romantic interest. Leave aside their parents and teachers. Because of this, many teens lack essential interpersonal communication skills, and much of this dysfunction can be linked to the overuse of social media, overuse of technology. Teens' social media and texting habits, as well as how they consume media, is changing the way they communicate, how they date, how they learn, how they sleep, how they exercise, and much more. Some use it in a very positive way and learn a lot of new skill sets, while many teenagers, they spend over 9 hours each day using their electronic devices, So which kind of teen are you, or what kind of teen you want to become? Ask yourself. For diary mein likho, what category do you fit in? Well, we discussed so much in depth. Let me ask you one important question. How do you want to be discussed by your university professors inside their staff room? As a troubled teenager or a sorted student? Decide for yourself. If you just said that I want to be discussed by my teachers as a sorted student, then trust me, stop watching on-screen violence amongst many others. That is a bad habit we just discussed earlier. Teenagers witness some violent media in the series that they watch at one time or another. जो अंदर डालोगे वो आज नहीं तो कभी बाहर तो आएगा ना. So stop watching violence. You don't realize it will affect you, if not today, after certain years. And it's not just web series or the TV, the music, the social media apps and movies that you watch that depicts violence. Many of today's violent video games, they portray gory scenes and disturbing acts of aggression. Over the past couple of decades, studies have linked watching violence to lack of empathy and even aggressive behavior. Teens need to learn how to identify what is good and what is bad about the media. It helps them become healthier consumers when they can think objectively about what they are seeing online, in the movie theater or in the video game that they are playing all the time. Last but not the least, get enough sleep. Students with their packed schedules are notorious for missing on their sleep. Trust me, watching web series till late night is not a cool idea. I too have done that, I accept. But from my mistake, I am telling you, I am sharing my learning so that you don't repeat that. Actually, operating in a sleep deprived state puts you not, on a distinct disadvantage. Actually, operating in a sleep deprived state puts you at a distinct disadvantage. You are less productive. You may find it more difficult to learn. So please don't neglect your sleep schedule. Aim to get at least 8 hours of sleep a night and take power naps whenever you need them. Another important point is exercising regularly. You already watch a lot of videos on Instagram, so I'm not going to take a lot of time on exercise. But one more important point is take calming breaths. Aram se breathe in and breathe out. When your body is experiencing the stress response, you're often not thinking as clearly as you could be. A quick way to calm down is to practice breathing exercises. This can be done virtually, anywhere, to relieve the stress in minutes, and are especially effective for reducing anxiety before or even during the test, as well as during any other time when the stress feels overwhelming. Also, get organized. Who out of all of you can actually say confidently that yes, I have the cleanest room or the desk or the cupboard? Bolo bolo. Clutter can cause stress. Many of the students, they live in a cluttered place, and this can have a negative effect on grades. One way to reduce the amount of stress that you experience is to keep a minimalistic background. अपने room को साफ रखो. Soothing study area that is free of distractions and clutter will help you. This can help lower the stress levels, save time in finding the lost items, and keep the roommate relationship more positive. It can also help the students gain a positive feeling about their study area, which helps with test prep and encourages more studying. It is worth the effort, trust me. Clean up the clutter. Another important point which all of us actually ignore is eat a healthy diet. We are this fast food generation. You may not realize it now, but your diet can either boost your brain power or sap you of your mental energy. A healthy diet can actually function as both a stress management technique and a study aid. Improving your diet can keep you from experiencing diet-related mood swings, high-headedness, and a lot of problems you will save yourself from. Other than healthy diet, mindfulness is another important aspect. A relaxation technique called mindfulness is a popular coping mechanism for those tackling stress or anxiety. Used by clinicians to improve the patient's physical and mental health, it can significantly lower the stress levels. It is most often practiced through a deep breathing or guided meditation. One of the most accessible ways to practice this is through the use of free smartphone apps such as the mindfulness app. Calm करके एक app है. There is one more called Headspace. A number of books are also available on the subject. To summarize, number 1, lack of purpose in life. Number 2, the correct ideal way to fulfill that purpose can cause stress. So first, find the purpose, the dream, the aspiration of your life. And then evaluate the ideal way to live that dream into reality. Who am I? Ask this question to yourself. Write the answer in your diary. Or, what is the purpose for which I am here? It is like the mission statement of the self. DM me if you want to share. I am open to listening to you. With this realization, we have achieved the first level of personal achievement. Trust me. अब इतना सारा बोल के और इतना सारा सुन के हम दोनों का स्ट्रेस बढ़े उससे पहले coming to the end, understanding and working towards the second part of achieving the goals would be easier if we have attained the first part with clarity without any unnecessary stress. And that is exactly what it means when you hear the phrase emotional intelligence. That is exactly what it means when you hear the phrase digital intelligence. In other words, we are all part of the digital mela. This virtual is becoming more and more real in terms of our existence, and seeking a balance between here is very crucial to lead a sane life. And lastly, as we all know, the means to the various fulfillments of life is money. अब उससे तो हम भाग नहीं सकते, that's the fact. So that is exactly what it means when you hear the phrase financial intelligence. All in all, human existence surrounds upon the tripod we just discussed, the emotional, the digital, and the financial intelligence. I wish you all three. In the worldly mire, the human machinery is constantly striving to attain the means of its existence, due to which there is a resultant wear and tear, which is simply defined as stress. May we all seek balance. Hope you enjoyed today's discussion. Your suggestions, comments, compliments, and feedback are most welcome. My social media page reads me as RJ Megha. We can always get in touch, and I wish you all the best.